Isekai stories usually take the zero-to-hero route, but this one is special. Shibuki Raven, the hero, has already completed the story by defeating the Demon King, but only at the cost of his death. Shibuki doesn't even know how, but he returns from the underworld. He thought that he would finally be able to marry Surfinia, the High Saint, but reality crashed when he realized that he couldn't touch anything that had holy magic. Thus begins yet another adventure for a man who sets off to break free of his curse and enjoy his life with his lover. It was finally time to face the wrath of the Demon King. The hopes of the warriors rest in Shibuki's hands, who is ready to confess his love for his beautiful crush after the battle. However, things take an unexpected turn as Shibuki doesn't survive the war. In 1550, the Demon King arrived to attack and destroy their planet. The true god of the world was sealed away, allowing the demons to enter their realm. God mustered whatever strength he had to summon mighty warriors to the party, tasking them with defeating the Demon King. Thanks to the hero's powers, the decisive battle between the two species reached its conclusion. The following year, in the manor of the Platinum Kingdom, the fight resulted in a draw. The hero didn't make it. Shibuki Raven had lost his life, giving everything to humanity. His friends, a party consisting of the High Saint Surfinia, Sorceress Lycoris, King Gladiolus, and Knight Viburnum, were there to cherish his memories. As for Shibuki Raven, the man is out here frustrated because he's lost his life. He's in a static soul-like state and reflects on his arrogant mistake when he had an advantage against the Demon King. Unfortunately, the Demon King tried to kill Surfinia, whom he cherished the most. The hero had sacrificed his life to incur a fatal wound, throwing away his life for the object of his love. However, Shibuki can't handle the praise he's receiving at the time of his death. He didn't care much about saving the world and only wanted to protect Surfinia. If this doesn't scream true love, then I don't know what does. Surfinia boasted the powers of a saint when they were kids. She even got promoted to the High Saint. After the arrival of the Demon King, Surfinia was chosen as one of the warriors to defeat the Demon King and save the world. Surfinia knew that she had to accept the burden of the hero, and as she reached out for the responsibility that would enslave her, Shibuki jumped ahead and decided to carry the burden for her. Shibuki wanted to protect his dear Surfi no matter what. They went on a mission to defeat the Demon King, sharing many memories. To Shibuki, she was the only thing that mattered to him, and he wanted to reveal his feelings after the fight. But to a disappointing end, he can no longer do such a thing. The sorceress Lycoris weeps for the fall of the hero, remembering the good times they had. She thinks of him as an idiot for acting so rashly. Shibuki is shocked by her words. It's like that one meme where a tsundere baddie at your funeral reveals she actually liked you. The exiled knight, Viburnum, and the exiled king Gladiolus each shared their words and liquor. They even make fun of him for dying a damn virgin. What an L he took. Dude beat the demon lord and saved the world, but at what cost? Finally, the person he anticipated the most, Surfi herself, steps forward. She bolstered her resolve not to grieve his death, and even though she is a servant of God, Surfi finds it incredibly difficult to let go of him. She cries endlessly for his demise, even begging God to welcome the hero and grant him salvation. Painfully, Surfinia bids farewell to Shibuki. Shibuki, who is now frustrated that his Avalon, his heaven, and his happy ending are nothing more than leaving Surfi with a massive hole in her heart, remembers his promise never to cause her pain. Shibuki wanted to spend more time with Surfi, declaring not to die. This man literally pulls the impossible, punching his way out of the damn grave. His party members have the widest WTF expression on their faces. It's not a surprise that he literally pulled the impossible to clap some cheeks, though I get it. The announcement of the hero's resurrection roars throughout the kingdom. Surfinia weeps to welcome him. Even though Shibuki is pumped as hell, he forgets that he's basically butt naked, balls deep in front of everyone. The priests declare a feast instead of a funeral to welcome the hero's return. A subsequent dinner festival is held, where Shibuki explains that he returned with the power of love. Viburnum wonders if it was Surfinia's powers that actually made his resurrection possible, since she used healing magic. Surfi claims that she felt the presence of God at his funeral, and even though the Demon King had sealed God, his influence became stronger after the Demon Lord's defeat. Surfi thinks that she's incompetent to be able to save someone closest to her, despite being a saint. Surfinia takes it upon God, blaming him for all the stupid crap she went through, but also feeling thankful for getting the chance to repent. Shibuki finds it cute, while Gladiolus is mad that he wasted all of his precious liquor for this man to come back alive. The king calls for the attention of the people, rewarding the hero and his party for defeating the Demon King. A reward of 5 billion yen is issued, ensuring that they become rich for generations to come. Each of them is meant to receive 1 billion each. Surfinia's damn mouth is a real problem, because she advocates donating all of the amount. Lycoris and Shibuki are both hella mad that she said this. Surfinia thinks that the people who suffered in war deserve it more than they do. She also doesn't care for much more than being with Shibuki again. Her words are ultra effective against the Pokemon known as Shibuki, who becomes the ultimate simp to donate everything. The king offers a personal gift to Shibuki, a crest symbolizing his valiant efforts, a name that would immortalize him as Shibuki the Brave in the hearts of the people. The princess of the Platinum Kingdom personally awards him. Shibuki is cheered by thousands of people, each welcoming his return. The hero realized that although he carried on the hero's duties for Surfy, he protected everyone else too. Shibuki returns the gesture, while Surfinia shares how it's just like their childhood memories. Shibuki vowed to become a famous adventurer and followed through with that dream. He made himself stronger day and night to protect one girl, thinking that he finally deserved her. Shibuki confesses his sincere affection to Surfinia, even requesting her hand in marriage. Surfinia is a cute mess, floored by his sudden confession. The others are shocked because they thought she already knew. Surfinia is revealed to be 15, so their marriage is going to be pending for a year. Surfinia returns his feelings in the most poetic manner, something that would never happen in any of your love lives, I assure you. Her cute face invites Shibuki to embrace her, thanking her for accepting his love. Shibuki is suddenly burnt to a crisp after coming in contact with Surfinia, not knowing what happened. In the guest room, Lycoris observes his situation and reveals that Shibuki is quite literally an undead creature. His state is closer to that of a zombie, even though Shibuki is finding it pretty hard to believe such a thing. Lycoris reveals that Shibuki doesn't even have a heartbeat going on him. It's like a unique reanimation technique. Does that sound familiar? Reanimation Jutsu. Who summoned Kabuto? Shibuki has a million questions, but the biggest problem is that he's currently being repelled by holy magic. This will happen every time he touches Surfinia, because she's the embodiment of the holy magic itself. Shibuki breaks down, realizing that he can never touch Surfinia, even after coming in contact with her again. This is less of a happy ending and more of a nightmare, not to mention that zombies are the nemesis of the church. Shibuki crumbles, thinking that his life is now over. Lycoris drops the bombshell, stating that he has been cursed by the Demon King. Lycoris suspects that the final attack of the Demon King was laced with a curse overflowing throughout his body. The curse persisted even after his death, and yet his body is only alive, thanks to the aid of Surfy's magic and divine intervention. Shibuki is frustrated that if the curse is beyond the powers of God, then his chances are slim. Lycoris claims that there is, in fact, a way to defeat the person who placed the curse. Another shocking revelation, as Lycoris bluntly states, is that the Demon King has yet to be defeated. Surfy panics, thinking that their world is still in danger. Lycoris claims that the Demon King shouldn't recover so quickly. It will take him time to rejuvenate his powers. Shibuki is prepared to beat the Demon King at once to remove this crappy curse, because how will he clap his cheeks if his sausage gets grilled by the buns? Shibuki's spirit soars the highest. This man is ready to catch some smoke with the Demon Lord. The beef is personal as hell right now. However, when Viburnum passes the hero his very own holy blade, he experiences an insane burn and collapses at once. So now, he can't even use his own weapon, because it's capable of killing him straight up. Shibuki is annoyed, and realizes that the only object he trusts is no longer his own. He thinks that the curse is only going to get worse, and wonders what would happen if he puts an end to the king. Shibuki fears the thought of returning to the dead after the Demon Lord's defeat. He finds himself in confusion when his girlfriend brings him a drink to cool him down. Shibuki tries to pretend he's alright. Surfy validates his fears and reminds him that she'll always be there because she has officially become his fiancée. Shibuki feels comforted, reminding himself of his title. Surfy apologizes to Shibuki, taking the blame for inflicting a curse upon him. Shibuki realizes that she's still trapped by the guilt of him protecting her. He tells Surfy that he's most glad to have saved his lover and, in a way, saved himself. Surfy declares an optimistic declaration of victory, stating that they'll overcome their struggles once more. Even though Shibuki wants to embrace her, he can't even do that. Shibuki is out here getting horny thoughts when suddenly Surfy slips and falls right next to his lap. Shibuki the horn dog just wants to hold her, but gets his hands burnt every time. Shibuki apologizes, while Surfy is a flustered mess, reminding him that he'll make it worse for him by getting burnt. Shibuki realizes that she's giving him access to the keyhole, as long as this man defeats the Demon King. This man is determined to do it now. The following day, the king is informed about the existence of the Demon King. he gives his full support to Shibuki and his friends so that they can protect the world again. Shibuki learns that even Lycoris and the others are prepared to accompany them on this journey. However, Shibuki tells Viburnum and Gladiolus to stay behind. He reminds Gladiolus that he has to spend time mourning his wife, thanking her for his support on their journey so far. He also bids farewell to Viburnum, but as the night is leaving, Lycoris feels a sense of regret, almost as if she wanted to say something to him. The new party consists of the hero and 2 magical chicks. Knowing that the Demon King won't be at the castle, Shibuki is rejoicing at the thoughts of a vacation-like travel setting. He's pumped to find the Demon King again. Surfy trips again, and just when Shibuki is about to grab her, she does a tornado 360 like crazy, in order to dodge his dumb ass. All of a sudden, Shibuki feels guilty that she's avoiding him so that he doesn't get burnt. The quest for hunting the Demon King finally began. Their first stop was the Platinum Kingdom. Even though they are revisiting the place, it seems good as new. Statues of Surfinia the Saint have been decorated in her name. Shibuki notices that she wants some ice cream. Surfy tries to talk him out of it, but Shibuki gets her ice cream anyway. Shibuki is glad to make her happy, and they even share a cute little moment where they kiss each other nearly. The 2 embarrassed blowhards are having their moment, while Lycoris plays the ultimate wingman, validating their date. Shibuki thinks it's even worse that they can't do anything with each other. Shibuki feels terrified and believes that they'll collapse. Surfinia tries to heal him. Lycoris reminds this idiot that Shibuki is a zombie. Shibuki learns from Lycoris that the undead aren't immortal creatures. Their greatest weakness is holy magic. A sudden commotion catches Surfy's attention. She asks the town guard, who immediately salutes the hero and the saint and informs them about the appearance of a demon. The demon is noted to have a life-draining ability, and it's one of the higher-level creatures. Lycoris admits that they haven't even touched Dravilan territory. The general of the Platinum Kingdom makes his debut. Thorn is glad to have met the hero's party once again. While they're having this conversation, a mysterious cat observes Shibuki. That night, while they're resting in one room, Shibuki is annoyed as usual because he's got a girlfriend, and his girlfriend looks way too cute right now. Shibuki remembers the problems they faced with Lycoris on their first journey. Shibuki detects someone and immediately tries to attack. He learns that it's a cute little Surfy, who tells him to keep quiet. Surfy is out here dialing things from 0 to 100, while our boy is incapable of realizing if this situation is a dream or not. One may think it's Surfy who is saying all of these things, but it's actually revealed to be an imposter, whose mission is to deprive the hero's essence. Shockingly, the hero in question is literally unaffected and put in a daze. Fake Surfy out here demands his essence, while Shibuki remains unaffected. The imposter reveals herself, channeling all of her might to drain Shibuki's powers. She grows frustrated, while Shibuki is still out of it. Suddenly, the chant flame meteor annihilates the building. Shibuki is knocked out of his delusions, while Lycoris tells him they're confronting a demon. The succubus demon used its spell to take control of his mind. Shibuki realizes that he just got played. Vanilla, the succubus, is attacked by the town guards. However, she easily tanks all of their attacks, and even zaps them of their life energy. Thorn Rembrandt, the general, is here to confront the demon. He throws his giant axe, but it's easily caught by the devil. The succubus makes one of his toys and throws it back at him, slicing Thorn's body clean. Vanilla is about to finish the job when the hero and his allies swoop in to protect Thorn. Shibuki tells Surfy to handle the healing process while he takes care of the demon. Thankfully, Thorn is still alive. Vanilla is annoyed by the hero, who doesn't give 2 ducks about her and delivers a heavy attack. Shibuki isn't interested in pulling his punches, imploring the demon to come prepared for what he's got. Vanilla is overwhelmed by the man's incredible aura. The magical one, not the TikTok one. Shibuki is suddenly attacked by the town guard, who is controlled by the influence of the succubus magic. Shibuki's body has endured numerous sword slashes and shouldn't even be standing. However, his new body seems to be more durable than the last. Shibuki uses his ability called the Pulse Arc, shredding the succubus to pieces and defeating her at once. The demon can't believe how absurd it is for Shibuki to possess such power. She thinks of the man as a kind of monster, an undead capable of consciousness. It's almost as if she was facing the haunting image of the Demon King himself. Shibuki tells her that they're looking for the Demon King. Since she doesn't have any information on her, Vanilla thinks she's definitely cooked. However, Shibuki drops his sword, stating that he can't precisely kill a demon, while she's whining like a little child. Her pathetic face made him stop his final attack. Shibuki reveals that he's been cursed by the Demon King after defeating him. Vanilla is shocked that he actually faced the progenitor of demons. Shibuki demands that she doesn't kill a single soul in exchange for being let go of. Vanilla remembers her traumatizing past. Not knowing how someone as strong as Shibuki is also merciful. Lycoris wants him to get the job done. Shibuki tells her that he wields his blade to protect others. He is okay with letting her go. Vanilla stops him before asking the man's age. Shibuki tells her he's actually 17. She asks for all of his bio data and his preferences, even the naughty ones. Shibuki gets more and more flustered, until this damn demon drops a bombshell revelation. Lycoris and Surfy are out here losing their minds. Shibuki can barely comprehend the situation when Vanilla reaches out and kisses him. Shibuki learns that his wounds have been healed, thanks to Vanilla's magic. It puts them in an unusual situation, since Vanilla can cure his undead wounds, while Surfy can't. Lycoris questions Vanilla's intentions. She reveals that Shibuki freed her from the hellish life that the higher demons put her through. Vanilla also tells him that the Demon King is being hunted by others of his own kind to take the throne. She offers to help him by teaching them about the demon world. Shibuki contemplates her words, knowing that she's untrustworthy, yet an excellent lead for uncovering the demons. Surfy, on the other hand, is out here, slowly becoming the devil, hearing them talk. Vanilla is capable of shape-shifting, too, which is how she was prying on them earlier. She teases him endlessly before sleeping in his shirt. Shibuki sees Surfy, who is a muddle of demonic thoughts after witnessing horrifying things. Surfy politely tells him that the demons are her enemies, and that the succubus also destroyed an entire town. Yet this man just forgave her. The worst part is that Vanilla stole his first kiss, a deed that is unforgivable, especially since God forbids humans and demons from coupling together. Shibuki asks if she's feeling jealous. The Flush Saint erupts in anger and jealousy, acting as if she's trying to be objective about the situation. Shibuki emphasizes that it's only Surfy that he wants, and that he can't wait to have her until he breaks free of the curse. Surf is still annoyed, feeling almost betrayed. Vanilla, who is quietly observing this conversation, finds it weird that Shibuki's ego hasn't been dented at all. Vanilla can't even imagine the things that would happen if the demon world were under the command of Shibuki. After their conversation, Surfy faces a slump for getting mad at Shibuki. She feels frustrated but annoyed about his first kiss. The saint goes on to do some epic crunches, but still feels troubled. She thinks that she should be the one trying to earn Shibuki's love. The following day, Shibuki is practicing with his blade when he meets Lycoris. She brings up the topic that neither of them has worked out a solution yet. Shibuki reveals that he's noticed something. Ever since his fight with the succubus, his abilities have been tampered with, and he couldn't even evade the soldiers' attacks. Lycoris explains that his previous weapons, including his buffs, have all been nullified. No weapon would hold a candle to the Demon King, especially when Shibuki can't use anything pure. Shibuki claims that he's not interested in getting healed a second time the same way. He wants to discover a second solution. Lycoris catches on and notices why he's saying this. Vanilla pops out of his hoodie and suggests they go to the Demon Emporium to snag some equipment. Curious, Shibuki and the others arrive at the Demon Emporium. Usually, it's pretty risky to jump into demon territories, but thanks to Vanilla's aid, they entered inside smoothly. The Overseer awaits them. Shibuki wonders if he can finally find something useful. Lycoris is spoiled in amazement because of the rare items surrounding them. Shibuki also finds incredible artifacts and is amazed by shopping at demon stores. Surfy is glad that Shibuki is having fun. And even though using demonic equipment is usually banned, Shibuki is a particular case that requires a weapon. Surfy sees many choices and spots a sharp blade with a menacing aura. She senses amazement while wielding the weapon, even though the blade itself seems dull. Since Shibuki is the brawler type, the weapon appears to suit his fighting style. Shibuki himself is observing different weapons and wonders if Surfy is mad at him. He turns to look at an armored warrior who is revealed to be Surfy. Shibuki thinks that she's about to kill him. Surfy introduces the weapons she's found. She requires him to fight defensively to prevent serious injury, which is why a shield is necessary. She also got him a unique cape, one that actually looks cool. Surfy gleams with happiness as she asks for his opinion. Shibuki feels loved by the girl, who admits that he's the only person she loves. Shibuki faces so much annoyance that he can't embrace her. Shibuki welcomes the experience, but she accidentally touches his head, causing him a severe burn. It's actually revealed that Surfy's holy magic leaves an essence on objects, which is why Shibuki can't use anything she brought him. Surfy feels devastated, and the same goes for Shibuki. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. a monster erupts and grabs Lycoris, stumping both Surfy and Shibuki. Skullhead over here questions what humans are doing in such a place. Shibuki doesn't understand the kind of opponent they're facing. The monster observes Shibuki's composition and realizes that they're actually the same kind. They're both the undead, and this one is nice enough to introduce himself as the world's liveliest corpse, smiles Aegiratum. Aegiratum is celebrating, because this lonely loser zombie hasn't met another like him before. It's probably because of his creepy social skills. But anyway, Surfinia wants to exorcise this guy before he even starts talking. She wants to maintain the natural order of the world, and even implies that he won't feel any pain while he moves on. Aegiratum feels scared of the saint, and firmly states that he doesn't intend to return to heaven. Aegiratum turns to the manager, and it seems he wants to retrieve an object called the Veil of Darkness, something that nullifies all holy magic. The heroes Shibuki and Surfy are shocked. However, the object indeed holds its merits, being capable of defending against the holy staff. Shibuki is dreaming of finally being able to embrace Surfy. He thinks that this object will forever solve the problems that he has been meaning to solve. Both Lycoris and Surfy are pretty surprised. Aegiratum wants to coach Shibuki around the zombie society. He even pitches in the bracelet for it. Shibuki is pumped to follow Aegiratum's lead, surprising Lycoris and Surfy. The manager points to the bill for the many items they've got rallied up. Poor Lycoris is left behind to pay the bills. Aegiratum is annoyed that Shibuki is incapable of traveling underground. He has a special map, and learns that Shibuki came from the Platinum Kingdom as well. Aegiratum is out here living the bro life with his newest homie. That's just how quickly guys become best friends with each other. Surfy questions why the undead continue to live and suffer when they could quickly transfer to heaven. Aegiratum thinks that it's just the way they've gotten used to their lives. He also points out Surfy's hypocrisy as she's unwilling to exorcise Shibuki, who is also a zombie. Aegiratum thinks that she'll understand after meeting the others that even though they're suffering, they still feel just as alive. And that's a beautiful philosophy right there, folks. When arriving at the underground cemetery, Aegiratum mentions the descent to the 12 floors. They start descending downstairs and are immediately greeted by a bunch of zombies. Naturally, Lycoris chickens out when, in reality, these guys are holding a Bond festival dance. They're like the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. Even the zombies are having fun down here. The purpose of the Bond dance is to lament the deaths of their own. Aegiratum emphasizes that zombies have yet to lose their hearts. Lycoris spots a zombie hugging onto a toy. The poor woman was alone after the revival, and kept close to the toy after that. The saint notices that the zombie is actually crying, even though she shouldn't be able to shed tears. The woman draws near them, because she typically hands Aegiratum the toy. He properly introduces them to his wife. Nerine and him were buried in the same grave, and while they have no memories of their lives, they figure they're at least married. Nerine's beautiful smile was more apparent, but lately she's the opposite of Aegiratum. Since they're opposites, they help each other, being the ultimate power couple. Aegiratum shares an innocent dream to make his wife remember her emotions. The zombie declares that humanity indeed rests upon the power of love. The word love strikes a chord with both Shibuki and Surfy. Surfy, after hearing his story, finds him admirable. Surfy states that she also understands love, a feeling so ethereal that it is invincible. An emotion of the heavens, a feeling that bears the closest meaning to everything. Suddenly, their attention draws near a destroyed wall. Aegiratum is shocked. A beam flash incinerates Aegiratum's body. The attack used had been imbued with holy magic. The culprit is revealed to be an army of holy weapons, who are automatically attacking the undead. Lycoris tries to defend them with her magic, but even so, Aegiratum wants them to leave immediately. Aegiratum withstands the attack, trying to protect Nerine even in his dying moments. Shibuki is also in trouble, while Lycoris tries to protect him. Surfy finally steps in, deciding to act in the manner that befits the undead. Instead of fighting to defeat the zombies, she uses God's powers to protect them instead. Surfy commands Lycoris to protect the others. She dashes in to attack the machines. Surfy's brilliant combat ability surprises even the likes of Aegiratum. She commands an ultimate magic attack, incarnating the machines with one blow. Aegiratum is thoroughly impressed. The boss monster and the commander of the holy weapons come to attack the High Saint. Surfy unleashes a magical attack, only to realize that this creature is immune to her attacks. The monster attacks Surfy, and she evades promptly. She can't compute how this monster is different from the others. The creature uses its mouth to deliver a laser beam attack. Surfy is taken out by the attack. However, she emerges shortly after as if nothing has happened. Surfy becomes embarrassed because her clothing has been destroyed in the process. The cute and cuddlesome saint is no longer interested in mercy. She channels 1000% of her anger without even wielding her staff. Surfy releases the ultimate attack, God Punch, literally destroying the monster in a single attack. When the matter is over, she stands the victor. The undead crowd cheers in her name, while Shibuki is glad that he made it out alive from this battle. Agerodum and Nerine have their own moment, and thank Surfy for saving their rotten lives. Surfy thinks that the people here bear humanity and deserve to be protected. Agerodum notices the shift in her demeanor, realizing that she's changed quite a bit. Despite his heart no longer beating, the feeling of warmth embraces the man. They celebrate with a feast that is only suitable for these zombies. Clearly, Shibuki's face is enough to tell you what his reaction is. Agerodum learns that these guys were responsible for taking down the Demon King with their powers. He promises to aid Shibuki if he receives intel about the Demon King. Agerodum is ready to hand him the bangle, but unfortunately, it has become damaged because of the previous battle. Surfy is glad that he acquired the bangle to help protect himself. Shibuki, a flustered mess, questions if they could do more couple things now that he's got the bangle. Surfy is excited to welcome more adventures, which is shocking Shibuki greatly. She tells him they can do all the fun stuff later at night. Are you guys seeing this kind of love and affection? Yeah, don't get your hopes up, you ain't getting any. Agerodum tells them that he's made reservations for them in the hot springs nearby. Lycoris and Surfy are both excited. The homie even got Surfy and Shibuki a room. What a Chad. Shibuki is astounded because this man is finally getting the chance to hit, and not demons. Before leaving for the Demon Emporium, Shibuki and the others waited for Vanilla to come around. She did arrive with lots of luggage. Vanilla shows him all kinds of nasty things, but that's for another time. We're not here for a side story of her yapping. There is also context provided on the Holy Blade. The cute High Saint tried to wield the Holy Blade for Shibuki's sake, but since she was so short, the blade dragged wherever she went. She couldn't even draw the blade. Agerodum's help provided them with the necessary aid to reach the hot springs. Having acquired the bangle, Shibuki's thoughts are focused on one thing, and that is to get closer to Surfinia. He sees the girls having fun on their own, while he's out here probably dying a virgin despite having a girlfriend. Just his luck. Lycoris asks the big question, questioning if this saint is really going to do the deed with her lover. To no one's surprise, all this time, this dumbass, innocent, holy saint thought that the deed was to give someone a shoulder rub. All this time, she built up so much suspense and embarrassment, all of it to get destroyed. Surfy's expectations are shattered when she learns that a shoulder rub is going to disappoint Shibuki more than anything. Surfy musters her courage to do whatever it takes to impress Shibuki. That night, Shibuki did all the things he could to prepare himself for Surfy. Surfinia arrives in his room looking the cutest. He can't even look at her straight. Shibuki can't even fathom the thought of doing something unholy with a girl like this. She notices him wearing the bangle and decides to finally embrace Shibuki. For the first time in forever, Shibuki's eyes light up in happiness because he can finally feel her. Surfy thinks that it's a cruel fate that they couldn't even embrace each other before. She remembers all of the times Shibuki provided her support and brought her to new adventures. Surfy prepares herself for bed, but y'all should know by now that this girl is an absolute coward. Her inviting him to bed actually means sleeping together. Shibuki realizes that he just got played, and after he learns of her initial intentions to give him a shoulder rub, Shibuki is a little more disappointed. He's still fine with Surfy being cute and playing with his hair. She wants to get to know his desires and needs even better. Shibuki thinks about it for a moment and requests holding her in his arms. After receiving permission from Ms. Adorable out here, Shibuki embraces her against his chest. Shibuki states that he's happier than when they gave him the actual title. Shibuki remembers their childhood memories and feels his heart bursting at this moment. He makes a few advances before requesting Surfy to go all the way. This man literally gets uppercutted to the damn ceiling, flying all the way to the roof before crashing back down. She probably dealt him more damage than the Demon King with that attack. Surfy exclaims with disappointment that Shibuki is, like all the others, filled with impure thoughts. Shibuki can't fathom what she means. Surfinia begins to read from her holy book, which is something you would definitely have during bedtime activities. She calls him impure for committing a grave sin. Shibuki is surprised, because they're literally engaged with each other, so this kind of stuff should be standard. He also precisely remembers her giving him the pass. Surfy expresses her shock and embarrassment, stating that she didn't imply anything impure at all. She actually whines and runs off, thinking that the man she loves is not any different from the others. Surfy is met with Lycoris and Vanilla. She whines like a little puppy and embraces Lycoris, pinning the blame on Shibuki. Lycoris is pissed as hell because she thinks that Shibuki messed up again. Shibuki blames himself for advancing carelessly. Just when Surfinia was opening up to him, he made the opposite impression. Surfy peeks from the door, embarrassed to even enter inside. You see, when Lycoris learned of the situation from Surfinia's end, she gave her a serious hearing. She can't fathom how Surfy is being double-minded about her love. She's doing all of the things that lovers are supposed to do, creating expectations for Shibuki. Lycoris is the one who sent her to embrace the situation head-on. Surfy returns to apologize for brushing aside Shibuki's feelings. Shibuki also apologizes for acting hastily, but possessing the desire to make love. Surfy feels incredibly embarrassed and reacts negatively against it. Surfy finds herself on a slope of embarrassment, not being able to do the things of impurity. Shibuki comprehends the situation, realizing that Surfy's connection to the church goes deeper than spiritual. She isn't used to normal things when the church is what she's known her entire life. Surfy is a helpless case of embarrassment, feeling overwhelmed as she shrinks to stubbornness. Shibuki tells her that he'll wait until she's ready, taking it slower than usual. Surfy accepts and requests that he close his eyes. Then, she musters her resolve to give him a peck on the cheek. God really hates them, because the bangle cracks and shatters in this important moment. Shibuki ended up getting burned, instead of the feeling of love. The following day, Lycoris is disappointed with how the situation turned out. Vanilla hadn't even seen a bracelet similar to this before. Shibuki reflects on wanting to allow Surfy to develop her pace. He still wishes to improve himself for the time being. Surfy expresses that Shibuki's body felt cold when they held each other. She always forgets that he's no longer with them. A serious Surfinia wishes to find the Demon King for Shibuki's sake. In the deep and distant lands of darkness, 3 loyal servants of the Demon Lord have brought him news regarding the development of the hero's party. They report the sightings of a magic pillar of holy magic from underground. The Demon Lord is annoyed to hear the news of the High Saint's powers. One of the cockier servants wants to kill the hero's art once, only to get thrashed by his peers for getting ahead of himself. Their priority is the revival of the Lord, no matter what it takes. The scene switches to Agerodum, who is curious to learn about the outcome of last night. Unfortunately, poor old Shibuki is devastated, because he didn't lose his V card. Agerodum tells him that he should at least be stronger than when he was human. Shibuki finds it hard to believe that his body has received any boosts at all. Surfy meets him, gets immediately flushed, like she has been for the past 8 chapters, and carries on as usual. Shibuki thinks that she's just way too shy. The girl even musters the courage to confess that she's not avoiding him. Regarding their current pace of development, he thinks that this is a proper sign they've become couples. Agerodum carries them around when suddenly a geyser explodes, taking them higher than ever. Agerodum bids them farewell as the geyser reaches the skies, giving them a unique view of the world. When the geyser began to fall, Lycoris used her magic to grab her party members. Vanilla has it easy with her wings, and thinks that they should just use flight magic. Lycoris observes that Mont Saint Tree is the largest town around, thus they'll be making it their next stop for investigation. When Shibuki and the others arrive at the town of medicine and the great tree of life, they are amazed. The magical tree has generated medicinal cures and provided for research in this town. Their first priority is to find an inn. When asked about rooms, Shibuki claims that they usually share one room, but it's best if he sleeps by himself. Surfy doesn't want him to make the extra expense. Lycoris is off to tend to some personal business without telling them a thing. Shibuki and Surfinia left to themselves. Shibuki uses this opportune moment to ask Surfy out on a date. Surfy is again flustered, like the 48th time so far. She accepts, wanting to try harder for their relationship. Surfy and Shibuki hang around some unique shops. Surfy is having a hard time looking at anything. She ends up bumping into him before dashing away at the speed of light. Surfy is embarrassed like hell and thinks that she's failing. Shibuki tells her they're only doing the light stuff to take the pressure off her shoulders. A purple aloe stand is handing out delicious smoothies to customers. Shibuki remembers the first time they had a drink like that. They both try it out, with Surfy rejoicing at the delightful and refreshing taste. Shibuki thinks that she was trying too hard before. Shibuki believes that the only thing that matters is making good memories with the person they love. Surfy agrees, revealing how strict the rules of the church were back then. She couldn't see anyone as a friend until she met Shibuki. She could always look back on the times they shared together as children. Surfy even shares the adventure journal she logged to keep down her memories. She thinks that dating is a similar experience in a way. Shibuki is glad that she's finally allowing herself to sit back and enjoy. With Surfy relaxed, they visit a perfume shop, a place that Surfy had yet to see. Shibuki gets matching scenes to celebrate the date. With both scents acquired, Surfy is glad to share another memory with her lover, as that is what true love really feels like. My man Shibuki ended up trying a truth scent, making his mouth express all the thoughts going in his head. Surfy is at the knife's edge of killing this guy. The shop owner explains that it's actually a helpful item for couples who can't express their feelings. But in Shibuki's case, it's the worst thing ever, as only impure thoughts collide in his mind. Shibuki tries to reclaim his senses, but the scent is too strong. Surfy also ends up yapping about the things she likes about Shibuki. She expresses the most embarrassing things about him, even though she called this dude impure before. Shibuki realizes that this chick actually loves the situation, even though she pretends not to. Shibuki is out here losing it, and has to brainstorm a solution before spilling out the worst things coming to his mind. The effects of the serum finally wear off, allowing Surfy and Shibuki to take a breath of relief. Shibuki is kind of impressed. He could see the true Surfy thanks to the serum. Surfy grabs his glove, accepting the situation. Shibuki is actually stumped. She's letting him go, despite saying vulgar things. A happy Surfy tells him that she enjoyed the date, so it's okay. Together, the both of them decide to walk together to continue their day. That night, Lycoris was superbly impressed that they had managed to pull off an actual date. On to the more important topic. Lycoris tells Shibuki that his chances of beating the Demon King are next to nothing, especially when he's incapable of using the Holy Blade. Later, Surfy is all by herself, observing the perfume she has bought. She couldn't comprehend the words that came out of her mouth, but enjoyed true comfort when Shibuki held her. She wanted to resist such feelings, but realized that she had always wanted things to happen this way all along. Surfy tries to expel her from such vulgar thoughts. Shibuki startled her and came by to check on her health. Surfy notes that he's wielding his weapon. Shibuki asks if she would like to hold hands and do things that lovers usually do. He thinks it's well deserved if Surfy calls him an impure and indecent person. Instead of rejecting his words, Surfy accepts them. Suddenly, Surfinia senses a horrifying presence. She can feel a monstrous magic from outside town. The great tree of life has begun withering from its place. The servants of the Demon Lord have come to confront the Holy Swordsman as well as the High Saint. In their original battle at the Demon King's castle, Shibuki swung his sword in a downward slash, injuring the servant. The hero's party was able to defeat the demon after incurring significant injuries. However, he survived, and now he's out for revenge. Shin states that his body is more resilient than what they'd expect. His existence proves to the heroes that the Demon King is still alive. The demon Shin smirks at the realization that the hero no longer possesses a capable holy blade. He slices a part of his own body to craft a weapon from his blood, aiming to defeat the warriors and exact his revenge. Shibuki deflects his first attack before engaging in fast-paced combat. Shibuki's blade is probably ineffective against him, and its ability to manipulate form is troublesome. Shibuki thinks that he needs to plan for something beyond the basics to end this fight. He garners a mighty slash, blocked by his opponent. Shibuki follows with a powerful kick, signaling to Surfinia to use her magic. Surfinia is about to command the use of her ability but hesitates, realizing that Shibuki might get caught up in the attack. This gives Shin the opportunity to rise from the rubble, making fun of the hero's pathetic attacks. Shibuki is in a pinch because even his special moves aren't working anymore. Shin plays around, questioning why the Holy Swordsman no longer possesses the Holy Blade. He also can't figure out how the saint is incapable of using her spells. Shin doesn't know about the curse, and wonders if the heroes have grown weaker ever since claiming victory. Shibuki protects Surfy from an attack, but suddenly gets his entire arm sliced off. Shin deems him an ordinary filth of a human, and legit makes a pun about him being unarmed. That's quite funny in the face of death if you ask me. Suddenly, Shin is distracted as Vanilla saves both Shibuki and Surfy from their demise. A chant, Hellfire Dragon, releases an incredible beast of destruction, a spell that could only be used by a higher-leveled mage. Lycoris is supremely disappointed that her friends got injured, and decided to show the extent of her true powers. Lycoris channels a destructive ability, descending a column of thunderous beams upon Shin's body. She releases more of a higher level of elemental magic. Shin is relentlessly attacked, while Vanilla is severely impressed by Lycoris' abilities. Lycoris tells them that the fight isn't over and that they should escape. Since Shin has extreme durability, it should be enough to hold him off for a while. However, Shibuki shares no intentions of fleeing the site. He compares the situation to fighting the Demon King, who simply targeted the saint from the very beginning of the fight. Shibuki is angered and wants to prevent the Demon Lord from making progress. He comes up with a plan. Shin regains his stand and reminds the heroes that he's beyond their capabilities. Shibuki tells him that they're definitely going to take him down. The High Saint and Lycoris combine their magical abilities, allowing Shibuki's sword to become engulfed in magic. Shibuki releases a super powerful attack, but it's of no use as Shin grabs his head before severing it from his body. The hero, the one thought undefeatable, has been beheaded. Shin's next target is the High Saint. Unbeknownst to him, it was Shin who got tricked instead. Shin doesn't understand how a headless warrior is capable of moving. This surprising ability catches him off guard, long enough for Vanilla to swoop in and use her magic draining ability. Shibuki decided to become the bait as part of his plan, since they noticed Shin still didn't know about him being undead. At this moment, they're about to finish off Shin, when another demon emerges from the shadows. The Maiden of Darkness has come to retrieve the fallen Shin. Lupine takes his body and goes away without hurting any one of them. Lycoris questions if this is also an underling of the Demon King. What's worse is that Lupine possesses teleportation, giving them trouble. Shibuki is out here getting his head reattached, a painful feeling, made even more agonizing by the fact that his opponent ran away. Lupine returns Shin to the lair of the Demon King. Shin is infuriated, because he could have ended the heroes then and there. Lupine acts childishly, stating that she made them dinner. Shin thinks that their mission was a success, but a lot of things shocked him during this battle. Shin is more than sure that the hero has somehow become an undead, though he doesn't understand how he's beyond the capabilities of a regular zombie. Shin suspects the Demon King's involvement, but he thinks that it will never happen. On the outskirts of the town, Vanilla is ready to give Shibuki the easy way of healing treatment. Shibuki is serious this time, and doesn't want to make Surfy jealous. He also remembers Aegiratum reattaching his arm, thinking that it would be the same for him. Vanilla embraces her inner lesbian, and kisses the mage to transfer her magic energy. Lycoris collapses from the feeling before gaining her senses. She has learned how to recreate the same technique, which allows for some of Shibuki's healing. Shibuki acts like he's in top shape, but his concerns for Shin and the Demon King's revival grow even more. He knows that the Demon King's revival is under process. Shibuki tells his friends to chill, even without his holy sword, since he's back in business. After Vanilla and Lycoris exit the room, Surfy tells Shibuki that he is putting on a big smile when, in reality, Shibuki is frustrated that things had to play out this way. Surfy realizes the big guy is asleep and grows flustered thinking about his muscular body. She experiences a wave of embarrassment and tries to reclaim her senses using God's teachings. She feels a unique desire to know more about Shibuki. After quietly inspecting her surroundings, Surfy gets into business. Even though her heart is racing, she tries to uncover Shibuki's shredded physique. Spying on her from a safe distance is Vanilla, who is caught by Lycoris all of a sudden. Lycoris pins stupid and scandalous accusations over her head, even though this is the same demon who saved them from Shin only a while ago. In frustration, Vanilla shouts and claims she is giving it her all to treasure her newfound friends. Her words are enough to make Lycoris sad and make a pathetic face. Vanilla can no longer get frustrated seeing her pitiful face. They share a conversation where Vanilla appreciates the company she has gotten with the heroes group. Lycoris expresses her desire to protect Shibuki and Surfy no matter what. She also embarrassingly confesses that she would have grown to become lonely, but thankfully, Vanilla is out to keep her company. Vanilla declares wanting to become a friend of Lycoris. They laugh for a bit, but Lycoris is still annoyed that the succubus is spying on the two. Vanilla shows her what she's been up to. Surfy, a maddened woman in love, can't do anything and fumbles her attempts throughout the entire night. The following morning, Shibuki's condition was a lot better than expected. He has healed from most of his injuries. Surfy is flustered as ever, remembering what she did. Lycoris emphasizes that much time was required to heal Shibuki's body and that the effects were nothing like Surfy's healing magic. This means that Shibuki has to play safer battles instead of fighting recklessly. Shibuki's primary concern is the lack of a potent weapon. Vanilla recalls there being a legendary demonic blade called the Mystic Blade. Shibuki is pumped just hearing that name because it sounds epic enough to draw him in. Vanilla states that the strongest demon warrior, Surfinia, wielded a blade that sliced reality apart. The blade was powerful enough to even slice God. The demonic blade was called the Hana Murasaki, the mystic blade. Shibuki acts like a child who wants his newest toy. He wants the mystic sword SP. Surfy questions if the demon they're talking about refers to the first saint, Lady Surfinia. The first saint existed 1,000 years ago, who decided to rebel against God's rule, and was never seen again. Surfinia's blade was indeed considered unrivaled. Surfy is surprised, drawing the connections between the demon's knowledge of Surfinia. In the meantime, she decides to chalk it off as mere coincidence. Shibuki's primary focus is obtaining the sword. Surfy recommends investigating the church, since Surfinia is connected to it. And so, the journey to get the legendary mystic blade finally begins. The heroes have set their sights on the legendary cursed sword, and while its existence remains a rumor, Surfy is logging her excitement for Shibuki if he happens to obtain the sword in the end. Surfy catches Vanilla on top of him, absolutely disgusted by the succubus deeds. The following day, Vanilla teases Surfy, emphasizing how much of an alpha male Shibuki really is when it comes to his immaculate riz. Surfy finds it vile and vulgar, and doesn't want her to taint him. Shibuki is just munching on his food, while Vanilla teases Surfy even more. Surfy grows extremely annoyed and nearly kills her. Vanilla no longer wants to share beef with this woman. Shibuki thinks that Surfy is way too hard on Vanilla. Shibuki asks about the original High Saint, Lady Surfinia. Surfy reveals that she is considered a rebel. She thinks that there isn't anything to worry about since she, as the High Saint herself, can meet with God. Shibuki is utterly shocked that she can usually just do that quickly. Lycoris claims that she often visited God after being bored. Shibuki is curious about God's appearance, while Lycoris recommends they do whatever they can soon. They decide to take a shortcut to the capital. On their way, both Shibuki and Lycoris bump into an invisible wall. The holy wall incinerates his face, while Lycoris observes that the barrier extends all the way around. Shibuki claims that going the other way will take them 5 whole days of travel. The High Saint intervenes, but even with her intervention, the magic is useless. She tries to go ham with her powers, brute forcing her way like she's some powerlifter on trenbolone sandwiches, setting a new world record. Surfy finally manages to rip the barrier, enough for them to climb inside. Once inside, they meet a magical forest unexpectedly. Then, a bunch of elves confront the humans, shocked that they are able to step inside. Shibuki remarks that they're up against demons. The demons stop for a moment, and rejoice that a man has finally arrived after their anticipated waiting. Shibuki is treated like a lavish king in the elven forest. He doesn't even know why they're being so accommodated. The elves celebrate having finally encountered a man after half a millennium. They've actually been trapped within the barrier the entire time, not knowing who placed it. They make a sincere request for Shibuki to become the king of the forest, allowing their clan to thrive once more. It's crucial for Shibuki to go with the birds and the bees with their queen, before the rest of the elves follow suit. Surfy is devastated that her guy is always being simped over by women. Shibuki sees the arrival of their beautiful queen. Queen Frisia's beautiful sight freezes even Surfy. She turns out to be a total blowhard for Shibuki. She had never met an outsider before, and felt amazed after meeting her first man. She wants to marry him at once, but Shibuki emphasizes that he can't. She tries to seduce him in all kinds of ways, but Shibuki says that he's got a different problem. Frisia acts like a cutesy daisy. Lycoris jumps in, stating that elves are known to butter up men to protect themselves. Shibuki is surrounded by dozens of women. Surfy is actually getting real-time trauma from this experience. She shoots him a glare of death. Lycoris wonders if she's okay. While Shibuki is receiving the treatment any man would absolutely die for, Surfy is in the mood to slaughter 6 million elves, probably because she also failed art school. Shibuki confesses that he's already sworn his life to the one he loves. Surfy rests, realizing that at least he's still got self-control in him. She even gets floored by a simple compliment. Shibuki wants to help the elves escape outside. Such a concept is met with confusion. Frisia claims that there's no need to flee, since the demons will attack them as well as the humans. Frisia warns him not to get mad. While Shibuki is confused, pondering what she means, he is immediately entrapped by vines. Frisia and the other demonic elves are fine with forcing their way. Shibuki powerfully demands that they leave his friends alone. Frisia decides to entertain the request, but she's not letting him free. They take Shibuki away by force. Surfy breaks free, while Lycoris is still knocked out by the effects of the sleep spores. Surfy is horrified as to what they'll be doing with her man. Channeling 99.999% of the jealousy of a woman, Surfy becomes an unrecognizable person and rejects her saintly self. She wants to kill all of them. Even Vanilla is pissed that they stole their man. Both Surfy and Vanilla join forces to retrieve their BDE daddy. Meanwhile, Shibuki's out here barely surviving Frisia. Frisia approaches his body, but he senses her hesitance. Surfy and Vanilla are rampaging their way, pummeling through the elves. She senses Shibuki's magic and arrives just before Frisia does anything. Surfy is dazzled to see his shredded abs, the saint's biggest weakness. Surfy is knocked out in one move, while Frisia is shocked that they destroyed all of her forces with ease. Vanilla is incredibly annoyed and claims that Frisia doesn't even have the heart in her. She sees through Frisia's intentions and states that Frisia is as inexperienced as hell. Frisia shuts herself down in a show of embarrassment. Frisia just wants to go home. Shibuki thinks that she also wants to leave the place and that she fosters curiosity for the outside world. He wants to help Frisia, but she's afraid that an even stronger foe will just prey on the elves instead. Shibuki states that he has seen people like her before, and they've all come to enjoy the world that they live in despite its dangers. Frisia remembers her past, how she was given a burden duty after her mother's waning. She wanted her to lead their people to happiness. Shibuki tells her that he can help Frisia actually fall in love with the outside world and truly flourish. Frisia comes out of hiding and can't even fathom how kind the hero is treating her despite her mistakes. She declares her embarrassment in finally expressing the feelings that she cares about. She has always wanted to explore the magic of love. Shibuki allows her impossible dream to come true. Later, Surfy finds the magical core that has been responsible for creating the barrier. She removes the barrier, uncovering the most beautiful sight of the outside world for the elves to see. A sight that they had never been able to see before. Frisia turns to them and frees the elves of their duties. She wants everyone to live according to their own desires. Frisia thanks the hero for showing her something exceptional and allowing her to prosper. Frisia is hesitant to leave the forest for now, but she wants to catch up with him someday. Shibuki wishes to enjoy a meal with her and eventually departs. Lycoris wonders if the elves will be okay. For safety, the High Saint installed a second barrier that allows them to re-enter and leave freely. Still, Shibuki is concerned about Lady Surfinia. The elder elf remembered Surfinia in a benevolent way, even though she had been widely depicted as a villain. Shibuki thinks that the barrier is the technology of holy magic, with all clues leading all the way back to the church. Shibuki sees the capital from afar. He notes the central church, thinking they'll have some information about his mystic blade. Lycoris is chatting with Surfy all by herself. Shibuki remembers her wanting a one-on-one with the High Saint. Lycoris tells Surfy that it's indeed weird for Shibuki to have an interest in women, despite them being his enemies before. Shibuki claims that the demons only see the strongest as the best, and as an undead, he stands out. Surfy questions if Lycoris is also interested in him by chance. Lycoris embarrassingly reveals that she was interested a long time ago, but she thinks he's a dumbass compared to Viburnum. Shibuki is seen as an active target for the demons. At this point, Surfy is the only unfortunate girl that isn't capable of touching him. Vanilla thinks it's nothing to worry about, and that she should seduce him if she's so worried. Surfy thinks Shibuki isn't perverted, but Lycoris knows that men are all the same. Shibuki is thinking back on the time he first met Surfinia at the church. Returning to town, Shibuki is met with praise. Lady Surfinia causes even more of an uproar. They give her all the attention, making these guys the ultimate celebrity power couple. Surfy's rank rests at the top of the saints, and she's literally chosen by God, adding another layer of her significance. Surfy finds herself distracted and remembers to have a conversation with God. They arrive at the High Saint Road, leading down to the church. The road is decorated in praise of the High Saint. Shibuki enjoys the souvenirs and squishes Surfy's cute face. The tall structure of the central church towers above them. The building looks as imposing as ever, as the return of Lady Surfinia has alarmed the guards. They welcome her properly. Tolbakia, the overseer of the church, meets them in kind. Surfy questions if they've received divine messages as of late, since her connection with God has been unstable. God probably ended their $2.99 subscription plan. Lol. Surfinia is ready to ask about Lady Surfinia as well as the Mystic Blade. The hero Shibuki is recognized as an undead by one of the saints.